couple emails here to get started. This segment, RAD@radradio.com. These seemed appropriate to hold on to, like this one from Maggot Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Says, I wanted to write and say how happy I was with the customer service and quality of work that I received from Tech2U. Not only did they answer all my basic questions, they also helped guide me to optimize the computer for my needs. If I ever need any help in the future, they will be my number one choice. We get endless emails like this, and the reason it's appropriate is we have Todd and Ian with us from Tech2U. Good morning, guys.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
How you doing? Thanks again.
Here's another one from Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
This was just from earlier this week. She says, I just hung up with Tech2U, set up a remote diagnostic on my home laptop. I was having problems with it being super slow and random porno sites and nudes popping up on the screen.
Oh,
Random.
Oh, yeah.
How did this get here?
Right, just out of nowhere.
Says he called me back within an hour and explained the problem. He said, you're a pervert. That's not me, man. Gave me an idea of what to do next. Afterwards, I asked him what I owed him for today, and he said no charge. It was a free diagnostic. And I could see that he was all over the insides of my computer. I told him how much I appreciate. Is this really a good business model, guys?
I don't know, actually. I'm starting to question.
No, maybe it's not a good idea.
We do actually get a lot of people that do write in that say you guys actually do sometimes wind up helping them and not charging.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, if we can't find that there's anything that has a lot of value for them, obviously we're going to let them know what their options are and let them decide from there.
Well, plus, clearly from the emails we get builds loyalty, and people know, oh, well, if I ever have a real problem, I'm going to come back to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've got so many webs going. So before, no pun intended. So before we get into all the computer stuff and the technical stuff, you're also Tech2U. You guys are also part of Fire Up Esports Lounge, which, with all of the various things going on in 2020, has been open, closed, 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 open, closed. Where are we at with Fire Up Esports Lounge?
Well, we definitely have a lot going on, a lot of projects, and thank goodness we have a very deep bench from Tech2U to Circles to Fire Up. It used to be just John and I for many, many years, and we now have a lot of help with Ian helping run Tech2U, Ari helping with our managed services. We have Danny now helping with Circles, and John very instrumental in that process, and I've been heavily involved in Fire Up this past year, off and on, of course, or it seems like that. We've been very busy even throughout this pandemic, and we're excited to get Fire Up reopened again. Woohoo! Yes, super excited about it.
Game on.
We have a game on.
So we like kind of game off, I guess.
It's been that way, but no, we have. We're shooting for a target mid-October, October 14th, as a reopening date.
So it's not so. Fire Up's not open today. People can't jump in the car and head down.
Correct.
You're welcome to come look at the building. It
looks
beautiful.
amazing.
It is. It's a beautiful building. So October 14th is the target date.
Correct.
Is that just you need that much time to ramp up, or?
Yeah, there's a bit going on, especially we have been closed. So on the technical side of things, we have a lot of updates to do on all those gaming machines, our servers. There's been a lot of new games. So we have a lot of new games to add to our library, and we're working on that right now. It does take a little bit of time, but we plan on having that ready mid-October.
And when you're back open, still with the bar and the food?
Yeah, the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the bar is important.
bar.
I mean,
very important.
Right.
Most importantly for me, my hangout was closed. I didn't have somewhere to just go and sit around the bar with you guys. And
Great for parents.
It's great for guys who just don't want to be with their wives who are at home doing law school.
Yeah.
Like, hey, hon, I'm just going to go have a few fuels, my beer, because either Todd or Danny's usually my bartender. So.
Very true.
For those who don't know, obviously, Fire Up Esports Lounge, the primary concept is going to be gaming. We have food, we serve drinks, we have an outdoor patio, which has been a big deal recently. Everybody eating outdoors too. So there's a lot of elements of the business that sort of worked well with everything that's going on too. Isolated rooms for private parties. We do birthday parties. Those have been incredibly high demand. Even while we've been closed, we just constantly are getting people asking, like, hey, are you guys open yet? Are you going to be open soon? So we're super thrilled to finally announce that we're getting back to it.
And the outdoor patio, that was super helpful when there were all these, well, can we be inside or can't we? But now it's perfect weather.
Yes.
I mean, not today maybe, but within 2 weeks when you guys are open, what great time that'll be to be out there. Now, you guys, the Fire Up Esports Lounge is in Roseville. which means you're in Placer County. And so that's part of why I assume you're able to reopen. And so everybody's got all these questions, and we could spend endless amount of time on specifics, but what is it going to look like, or what's your answer to, okay, what's it like when I show up?
Yeah. General answer is we're following county guidelines, so those are something that I think everybody knows has been adapting frequently. So we're sticking with that adaptation as it comes up. Yeah.
Outstanding. And the website for FireUp is?
FireUp.gg. And then, of course, we're on Sunrise and Douglas, too. So if you're in the area at all, it's a very prominent intersection. Yeah. Now we actually have new signage, too. You can see it from the intersection. It looks great.
By the way, the giant blow-ups, are those permanent whenever you're open? The big Mario and things like that?
Yes.
Those are great. Yeah. Those are so fun.
Are you guys going to be playing the games on the side of the building from the outside like you were at night?
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, the big old.
So cool.
It was fun seeing a 20-foot wide Mario Brothers playing on the side of the screen. Everybody on Douglas Boulevard checking
Not a traffic hazard at all?
Oh, no, not at all.
That's very exciting because it is such a fun place, and we need so much fun right now.
Yeah.
So what about in terms of keeping everyone updated on the specific day? Will that be done mainly social media, website, everything?
It will be social media. So yeah, if you're going to fireup.gg, which is the website, you can find our links to social media there. You'll hear about all the new things that are going on, including the schedule, the days and times it will be open. And, talking about the restaurant side of things, the bar and food, we actually hired a new manager who has some very good restaurant experience.
Oh, wow.
And we're very, very excited about that. He's actually been instrumental in opening up the Twin Peaks restaurants in Florida, in Las Vegas, and here in Sacramento.
Great food with a view.
Yes, that's right.
We have a view of space.
Oh, boy.
So, we have a lot of high expectations from him, and
menu changes,
new menu changes,
additions.
A lot of improvements in general too. Just having that expertise. Obviously, we're technical people. That's a nice way to say it. Our focus is on the computer side of things, and obviously, like Todd said, we have a very deep bench. We've been incredibly fortunate to have such amazing leadership teams across all of the different things that we've been working on. And that extends to Tech2U too. So obviously affording Todd and I the time to be able to work on FireUp and bounce around where we need to.
Super. That is super exciting. The FireUp will hopefully be back in 2 weeks. So,
yes, thank you.
Let's shift over to the Tech2U part, because in fact, Ian, I think you and I were either texting or talking about this recently. With now that we've got all of this disaster of distance learning, and so many people working from home. Many have been told you're working from home through the end of the year and maybe forever. We don't even know. The technical problems are endless, and I know you guys have been busy and inundated, but various things that people should be thinking about or can do, or is there any way to make parents' lives better with this mess that's going on?
Yeah. Last time we talked on the air was, I think about a month ago, we had discussed quite a bit about Zoom being in high demand, Google Classrooms, teachers were not really sure what to expect. And now I have a third grader, so I've gotten a lot of firsthand, distance learning experience. And it's interesting. I don't envy at all these teachers' jobs for trying to reel in a bunch of kids, at that age to stay focused on a computer. But there is a lot that can be done on the technical side to make it easier. And I think that most parents who are in this situation certainly understand, the smallest blip in Wi-Fi, it just really ruins the kid's focus, right? Or the computer freezing or whatever it is. That's been probably one of the highest demand areas for us, is just making sure the kids can have everything that they need for it to work well.
Okay, I have a stupid amateur question. See, this is why you guys are technical guys. Is there any truth to the idea that if you've got one or two kids at home that are distance learning, and you've got one or two parents that are home, and you're all online, are you slowing down your own in-house internet because you're using up so much Wi-Fi? Is that how it works, or is that just dumb?
Yeah. Yes. No. That's how it works. It's not dumb.
You got it. You nailed it.
Sometimes it's kind of good to use an analogy like a water pipe, obviously. So if you turn the water on through every single faucet, everything in your house, chances are you're going to see a small reduction in flow. Especially depending on where you're at. Same thing kind of with Wi-Fi.
Can Tech2U give bigger water pipes for Wi-Fi, or how do you?
Yeah. So to a degree, we can. So a lot of it has to do with your internet provider, who you've got, what your speeds are there. But in most cases, what happens is people have these amazing speeds coming to their homes from, AT&T, Comcast, whoever they've got, right? All these different providers have such high speeds now, but they're not really utilizing it because they just don't have proper hardware for it. They don't have wireless solutions that can broadcast throughout the whole home, or laptops that are just not even rated to receive this very high speed wireless signal that the router's putting out. So without getting too technical, the short answer is there's a ton that can be done. And then we also most of the time when these things come up, or say somebody says these things are running slow, it's freezing. We just say, hey, call us and get connected remotely, because we can even do a ton of networking diagnostics remotely for free. Check out what's going on, where the slowdowns might be coming from, and give you an assessment of what needs to be done.
By the way, we're starting to get questions, rad@radradio.com. You can also call 888-989-9811.
So I don't retain all this technical stuff, but I do know that you guys did help us at our house, because my husband's been working from home, and he uses so many monitors, and then everyone in the house, and exactly that, things were slowing down, but we have high speed, and that's exactly what it was. It was like, okay, you guys helped to utilize and get it going, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what I don't know what y'all resolved with him. All I know is things are like moving, and there are like zero issues.
When you bring up, like you mentioned, sometimes it's the laptop can't handle some of the whatever's coming in, whatever your technical term is. Well, so the answer isn't always, oh, you need to buy a new $4,000 laptop from us.
Yeah, and actually in a lot of cases, it's not you need to buy anything. It's just we need to set it up correctly, and that's something that's a really common misconception is, okay, I got to go spend $500 on all this new hardware. In fact, most of the time, it just really needs to be configured correctly.
So you mentioned getting connected remotely, that was such a great thing before COVID, and now where we don't need people coming into our various homes. And that letter writer was talking about how she could see whatever tech she was working with. That is creepy.
It is so crazy to see that.
I've had to use you guys over the last many months, and since I trust you implicitly, I don't worry about it. But I'm like, we should address this on the air, because I can see this guy clicking and moving things around. What is the safety protocol that you tell people of? Look, yes, there's a stranger that's in your laptop, but here's why you can trust Tech2U.
Yeah, I think more than anything, one of the things that it comes down to is our reputation. Obviously, speaks for itself. Todd and John started the business 15 years ago, something like that now. I think that the reputation you create amongst the community speaks volumes. Obviously, if we had a history of problems in that regard, we wouldn't be in business today. But also, we just spend a ton of time on the hiring process and getting people that when you get on the phone with them, it doesn't take very long for you to establish that level of personal trust. But as far as the process is concerned on a technical level too, we use a program, which is something that most technical support companies use, that's sort of like a middleman between us and you. And if you ever don't like us, you click the X, we're out of it. And it's not one of those things where we can reconnect to the computer whenever, it's once that X is closed, we have to go through the whole process to reconnect to it again. So it's certainly a very safe process for the customer.
Do you guys have some type of like training process you go through with these techs too? Because they're all super smart, to teach them how to talk to idiots like me, because they are so patient. Well, and it's stuff where I know on the other end of the line they're rolling their eyes at me, but you never really hear it.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time during the hiring process on who we're hiring, their personality, can they speak at a non-tech level. So although we do a lot of training and help with that, we look for that when we're hiring. It's very important.
Yeah,
very,
we probably spend, I would imagine, considerably more times, or much more time on the hiring process and weeding out applicants than having to bring somebody in and then make them perfect. It's a lot easier to get the right personality in the first place.
It is like night and day, because before we were partnered up with y'all years ago, I'd get someone on the phone and I'm like, I don't understand you. And they're getting frustrated with me. I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me to do. I don't. And in their mind, they're probably like, how do you not? This is so basic to them. But anytime I've talked to you guys, it's like, wow, they're speaking my language.
Well, they're like, okay, a box is going to pop up. That's right. It'll be blue. Look to the right. The right top or the right middle. We're talking to Todd and Ian from Tech2U, Fire Up Esports Lounge, Circles, and more. As we bounce through all these things, we got this email, rad@radradio.com, about back to Fire Up. Does Fire Up have Apex Legends? Has it arrived yet?
We do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
We're ready. We're ready.
Sweet.
Right? Yeah. Dawn and I are like, okay. Is that a drink? Or hello there. David, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, go ahead.
I just had a quick question. So I DJ. I recently had my my hard drive flashed over to another hard drive. I was losing a lot of data and everything. While the technician who actually did my work, he said it might be a difference because he did everything on a Macintosh. I mean, on a Windows, and compared to the Mac. So I like a lot of my stuff is like very slower processing and everything on Apple. Is that something that you guys would probably be able to like go back into and fix? Because like it won't even let me transfer anything from that hard drive or anything like that.
Yeah. So
You know what he's saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
By the way, he's not a spoken word DJ. In case you couldn't tell, it's the other kind.
So certainly, a big part of our day to day is interpreting problems. Obviously, right? Because we don't expect that somebody's going to be able to call in and give us a technical breakdown of the issue, right? So, if anything, we're trained in understanding that kind of thing.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah. To answer your question, though, yes, it's absolutely something we can help with, and this kind of goes back to that same thing. That remote support, the free diagnostic is such a great way to begin for services like this. If you have a question of, can this be done? Is there a way to improve it? Or even if you have the assumption that there's not a way to make it better, that might be wrong. Call and just check, because it is completely free. There's no strings attached. You call us, we'll log into it, we'll look at it, we'll tell you what needs to be done, and help you out.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. Hi, Adam. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
I just have a quick question real quick. So we live up in the Valley Springs area. We don't get really good internet. We don't even have dang Comcast up there. But in any case, I took a 4G LTE hotspot router, bought it, put it in the house, and then I branched off of that via Ethernet and ran a tri-band router throughout my house, and I'm using Orbi.
Me
Is
too.
this legal?
So I don't know if there's something else that's better than Orbi to use throughout the house just to get a better signal for us that's more consistent.
Does he need like a Dipsy Doodle switch? Or
The Dipsy Doodle is a mandatory.
is he
He actually,
talking
it's funny listening to
What
his
is
description
that?
was so well. He actually described that incredibly well, and
okay.
the technical process that he's already accomplished is pretty impressive. in
Wow.
itself. Being able to this is good. There's a lot of people who are in these areas that just don't have good internet. You're out in the sticks, and there's just nothing that's available.
And again, by default, they never really had to care that much about it until March, and now they might be stuck in needing it for the foreseeable future. So yes, I know it's a very real problem.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Orbi, as far as a device is concerned and a brand, it's a great device. Is there something better? Maybe for your use case, yes, because it would depend on square footage of the house, where your wireless device is in your house, so interference that could be local to where it's at, upstairs, downstairs, near your kitchen. Long explanations that I could give for that, but the short of it would be, again, call in. We can get you to a technician who will tell you what options you have, and we'll have a lot more questions about your individual use case, how it works, and what could be done to improve.
And if somebody does need to ultimately come to the house, you guys have a protocol set up to make everybody feel comfortable.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's obviously incredibly high demand again now, because people are trying to figure out, okay, I've got this desktop, I can't just carry it in very easily, and I can't get it on the internet in the first place to do a remote support. So yes, we still obviously, of course, offer in-home services.
When you're saying use case, you mean like use throughout the house?
Yeah, so everybody's home, obviously, just a little bit of a different shape, and the way that it's all set up, and then where your internet provider brings things into your home might not be a convenient location for you. So everybody's home and their individual layout is going to really help to dictate how we're going to set things up for you.
What about, we had a lot of questions about, and you were kind of alluding to them, Wi-Fi extenders.
Yeah.
And for a while, you guys did that for a short time at my house because it's kind of big. And then you came up with a bigger, better solution. But are these Wi-Fi extenders, does everybody need them? Can you just buy any kind of them?
Yeah, I think, again, it kind of comes down to individual use case, and I would say in most cases, they're not necessary. When we're all as fortunate as you, Rob, we will all require them. But yeah, in the meantime, typically the device that you get from, again, just your internet provider is going to be good enough. And it's a common misconception that it's not. Mm-hmm. So that's where, again, it comes down to configuration. A lot of times we can move a device a few ways away from something that's a heavy piece of metal that's blocking wireless. There's a lot of little changes we could make without new equipment.
See, now here's a question that's so basic, I could almost answer it.
Whoa!
I'm not going to, but I could almost answer. It says, I am an old man. Can you please explain the difference between a Chromebook and a laptop to me?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I could do this too. Yeah, all right.
I want to hear Dawn first. If you could. Yeah.
No, that's okay. You go ahead.
We don't want to chew up your time.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Chromebooks have been around for a long time. They're especially popular right now for students and for parents of students. They've been given to them by school districts. Chromebooks are effectively a limited version of what we are typically recognizing as either a Windows laptop or a Macintosh laptop that have these full-fledged operating systems you can install, change whatever you want. Chromebooks are a little bit more limited, which is great for a student, somebody who's just doing something very simple.
I would have been a little more detailed, but that was good.
I appreciate it.
Hello, Matthew. Good morning.
Hi, anybody. This is my first time calling, so I'm a little nervous, but I just wanted to talk about how I had a gaming computer that I surged out because I was being stupid, so the motherboard got totally fried, and I was so worried I wasn't going to be able to find the part, but Tech2U in Vacaville, I forget the employee's name, he was so helpful, and he got everything for me for a great price and a reasonable time.
That's awesome. Good. That's Rob, by the way. We really, really, really love that guy.
How do you know it's that guy? Is there only one guy in Vacaville?
Rob runs the show there. Yeah, man. It's I got Chad in Roseville. I got Chris in Rockland. There's for the most part one store can have a guy, but like our Sacramento store, our main office on Howe Avenue we have 5 full-time technicians.
5 guys.
Now I'm hungry. Speaking of gaming, we'll bounce back to Fire Up with this email from Trevor.
Hey, Trevor.
I was wondering, are there ever gaming tournaments at Fire Up, specifically with either Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K? I would love to get over there with some of the boys for a tournament sometime.
Yes, absolutely. We had tournaments before we were shut down, and obviously we've not been able to do them. But yes, we will be having tournaments very, very soon, and the best way to find out is following us on social media, fireup.gg. Look for our social media links.
Yeah, and Fire Up Esports is the handle for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
What's a FIFA?
It's soccer.
Oh,
Don't worry.
okay.
This is from Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
She says, we're trying to find the best way to have Wi-Fi in our RV for when we go camping and have to homeschool. What is the best solution for this?
That's so funny. The guy who called in with the LTE hotspot question, he actually...
Oh, my God. I was so thinking that.
he answered that.
Oh, wow.
Could you remind her what he said just in case she had no goddamn idea what he was talking about?
Oh, I love it.
So, depending on where you're going, God, that's funny. If you go to, you had me going for a second. I genuinely thought you got it.
Lord, no.
So if you're traveling, obviously, if you're going up to an area that has no cell signal, you're going to be stuck no matter what. Right. But if you can at least get a cell signal, I'm not personally bound to any brand at all, but I've heard Verizon has really good signal for like going up into the mountains and things like that. You can get what's called an LTE hotspot, and that's a good place to begin. If you have questions, again, call us. We'll give you some direction on it. This isn't really a service that we would necessarily help with in the beginning, but we can at least give you some direction. And if you can't get all of the answers from a cell provider like Verizon, AT&T, whatever, call us. We'll help you with that direction.
Hello, Mary. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Mm-hmm. I have an older laptop that I bought quite a few years ago, obviously. And at one point, the Norton virus protection kind of ran out, and I believe I might have gotten some kind of virus on the laptop. I was wondering, would it make more sense to have you guys take a look at the laptop and see if it's something that you could then remove all the viruses and what have you, and so that I could go back to using it? Yeah,
so this is that question is probably the majority of questions that we get is it's running slow, it's got a virus, a potential virus, my antivirus isn't working anymore. It's old. That's really, there's multiple ways we can help. Send somebody to you. You can bring it into us. Again, the free diagnostic if you bring it into us as well. But this case, again, is another wonderful option for the remote support service because we'll log in, we'll do a scan, we'll verify if there's a virus. If there's not one, there's no charge for us to have scanned it for you. And of course, if there is, we can tell you what it would take to remove it, get you some better protection on the computer. The whole process we can help you with. Just calling in first and getting a technician on the line with you will provide you infinite knowledge to make an educated decision on how to proceed.
What's that number, Ian?
Yeah. It's a good point. So our phone number is 931-0942. And one of the easiest ways to get us is just to go to our website, which is tech2u.com. It's TECH number 2, letter U.
And the virus thing, I told the story on the air months ago when we had reason to believe somebody had hacked into my laptop, and you guys you logged in remotely. That was the first time I had to sit there and watch somebody go through my computer, and I'm waiting for the skull and crossbones to come up. But not only did you guys find the problem and clean everything out, but just virus protection in general, you guys will handle all that. And the other thing too that we haven't touched on, that we should touch on really quickly with everybody doing this at home, is backing up all of the information, especially when you're talking laptops, because if your laptop dies in this day and age, it's worse than your car going down. And there's a variety of ways people could back up information.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially with students doing projects from home, people working from home, the basic concepts are, if you're doing a backup of your computer, there's the most common ways to do it is to have a hard drive right next to your computer. You back all the stuff up into that. Another one is what's called a cloud backup. Both of them are fantastic. Each of them has their own individual use case of what makes more sense for you. But again, if you have anything that's even remotely important to you and it's only in one place, assume it will be lost. Hard drives fail, laptops fail, and there are, even though it's very rare, we can do data recovery on things that break, there are instances where things can't be recovered. So we always say have your data in at least 2 places, and if you're concerned about that at all, call them. There's so many low cost resources, some are even free, to just create a backup and make sure your stuff is safe.
So we moved my father-in-law in with us, Pops, and he likes to get on his laptop. And this is kind of like combining two things when you've talked about sometimes we think we need new stuff. We were convinced he needed a new laptop because it was just older. And the other thing we were worried about is he'll be too trusting sometimes. And they're like, no, you don't want to click that. You don't want to click that. Because he doesn't go to much. He has a certain sites he likes and certain games. And you guys went through everything. And I mean, it really put us at ease too. And it was, no, he doesn't need a new one. But, which was nice. It's like, because I feel like, hey, looking at it, anyone else could have said, oh, yeah, because it is older. But you guys were very honest about, no, he doesn't need a new one. And then I felt really safe when it's like, oh, wow, everything checked out. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because we just weren't sure on that.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's a lot of people that just hold off on calling an expert for an opinion because they think, well, I'm going to have to pay hundreds of dollars to get an answer to this. And that's something that we really, if from the beginning, we've been doing free diagnostics. And obviously from a business perspective, sure, we end up spending a lot of time on free diagnostics. But these are customers who are going to come back to us, obviously. Right. So we love to do them.
So I want to pause real quickly. We'll get back to Fire Up and the technical questions and do as many more emails as we can. But the other one, and a lot of people are sitting here going, are you not going to talk about it? Are you not going to? Is for longtime listeners, they know. And for those who don't, we'll give them a quick reminder of what the hell Circles is and where are we with our social media positivity app that is a Tech2U driven monster that we're all involved in. And the last time it was going to be, it was spring. And then, guess what happened in the spring?
Right.
Yeah. So where are we at with Circles?
That's a really good question. We are really excited. We've been working really hard this past year. We've been spending a lot of time trying to dial in all the features that are in the app and trying to make it a more enjoyable user experience. And we've been taking a lot of feedback and taking that into consideration and making these changes, and something that we're very, very proud of. And I mean, without giving too much away, we have some exciting news.
There's some big updates coming pretty quick.
And so we have this new beta we've been working on, and it's ready. And I think talking about Circles, John and Danny will be coming by.
I'll just say that I've been part of the process the whole time, and just seeing the changes that you guys have implemented have been fantastic. And it's funny because when we first had the beta a year ago, I don't know how long it was good, and now it's like, whoa. I mean, the improvements in terms of everything, and what it is, it's basically a positivity app that you follow people, like you'll follow me, and you'll say, honey, we want to go to dinner somewhere, but we're tired of all the same places. You just click onto my profile, and it's just recommendations of places that we go. It's nothing negative. There's none of that Yelp crap.
No, there's no reviews. You're not going to find anyone talking smack about anybody. It's just your recommendations.
And the categories that you guys have got, which I know eventually will expand greatly, but what you have already. It covers so many different various things.
Yeah.
And something like Circles is so important for us right now because we don't really have anywhere to go to figure out what is open and what is available to us, and if it's even any good. I mean, there's so many changes that have happened since everything is closed down that it's only the right way to go to your friends to find out exactly where the places are to go.
The thing that I've really liked about it is if we're going somewhere that's an hour or so away and you're like, oh, who else has been here? And what do they recommend?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't want to look at Yelp or any of that other garbage.
And Todd, you alluded to it. We're going to have a week from today, a week from right now, we're going to have the other two
That's right.
that we have on a regular basis from Tech2U, John and Danny, to talk about Circles. And another question a lot of people still ask us about is, okay, well, it's not a thing yet, so can I still get in on this? And we're going to have big news about the next level of Circles, but also one more chance to get in on this.
That's right.
For those of you that believe as strongly as we do, this is going to be something big.
Yes.
So that'll be next Thursday right here at RAD Radio. All right, couple last minute questions here. We'll get through as many of these can. Eric wants to know, what is a good computer for gaming and video editing?
Ooh, if you're going with a desktop, we would, of course, being the nerds that we are, say a custom build. But I would say it has everything to do with your budget. But if you call us and you tell us what budget you're trying to work within, we can give you a better suggestion.
Missy has a great question. Can we still call and receive a diagnostic for Wi-Fi signal issues if we don't have a reliable laptop or desktop to run the diagnostic?
Yeah. There are instances where we're limited on the remote support, but in most cases, we can still get you a lot of answers remotely.